Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good late afternoon to everybody. It is the boy Lewis Sports Network back at you once again with another heavy hitter, second live stream of the day with yet another video. Make sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button as you guys come in. Make sure your notifications are turned on. Make sure that also you guys are sharing this on your social medias and on Reddit. I truly appreciate that. How is everybody doing on this late Thursday afternoon? It is close to 4th of July weekend. Hope everybody is doing well. And today's video is pretty much talking about the top 15 feats of MJ that probably will never be broken. I mean, there's been a lot of records and stuff like that, but this is some of the things that I looked up to further cement that case. These are things that I looked up. So appreciate people who are in the chat. Let me know who was in the chat. Shout out to Karam. Shout out to Joel. Shout out to Sports Expert. Appreciate all of you guys for coming in. If you guys would like to donate to the channel, it is right here. It is right here now. I put it in the description. So if you guys would like to donate to the channel, you guys can donate. It is in the description box down below so that you guys don't, I don't have to keep putting them in the live streams inside the comment section. All you guys have to do is just go to the description box. If you guys have PayPal, you can donate to me at PayPal if you would like. It's not an obligation. If you guys would like to donate to me at Cash App, the Cash App link is also in the description box. But again, I truly appreciate you guys being here. So shout out to G Money. Just came to pop in. He can't stay. No, it's all good, man. As long as you come in, like the videos, and just share them, man, I appreciate that. So, but I just appreciate you being here. So, take it easy, sports. It was glad to see you here. We're looking at feats. Yeah, I was wondering that too, Karam, because I just found that out. And shout out to you for being here. But I was looking at that. I was looking at the bubble thing for what the NBA was proposing. I don't even know what that's about. I'm actually wondering on that. Again, salute to people in the chat. Let's get to the 15 feet, to the 15 records. I hope you guys appreciate the thumbnail that I made. That it took a little bit of hard work, but I was able to put that in there. So I do appreciate you guys as always. Sports Expert says, yes, sir, man. See you later. All right, no problem. Take care, man. G Money says he's not perfect, but he is the GOAT. Nobody is. Nobody's perfect. Not even the greatest are perfect. But here are the feats. Starting with number one. Number one. Says MJ's got some of the most incredible accomplishments, and everybody obviously knows this. Everybody obviously knows it. But appreciate the thumbnail. I found one, and then I was able to add the other pieces of MJ to it. So hope you guys enjoy the thumbnail. Okay, but many don't realize that he has a couple of records that'll probably never be broken. Even in an era that caters to stat stuffing, lack of defensive resistance, and worldwide hype, some of Jordan's records will likely remain forever. While this is quite shocking, considering, shout out to Winona Thomas, appreciate you in the building. While this is quite shocking, considering the fact that he's been retired since 03, many believe that he had retired mentally and physically before then. He's had some of the most amazing achievements, 6 titles, 10 scoring titles to his name, but there are a whole lot of records that he's broken, which will probably stand through the test of time. Here are the 15 NBA records, incredible NBA records that Michael will likely hold on to forever. Number one, let me ask you guys this question, and this is the number one thing. Do you think we'll ever see another player get 10 scoring titles in his career? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section if we'll ever see somebody get 10 scoring titles in their career. Again, guys, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share on your social media outlets, And again, if you guys are looking for the donations are now in the description box, so that way you guys don't have to put it in. Whoa, G Money. 10 scoring titles for Luka Doncic or Trey Young. Remember what I just said? I said, will you ever see a player win 10 scoring titles? 10. Ten. 10. 10 scoring titles. That was the question. Do you think we're ever going to see a player to have 10 scoring titles? I don't know about Luka or Trey Young. Remember, I'm not saying that they cannot lead the league in scoring, but 10 times? Okay. G Money says yes. What makes you so confident? Karam, okay, Karam, you're saying no. Well, no, because there's no defense in the league and it is up for grabs for anybody to win each year. That's what I was really more so leaning on because I feel like each year you could probably get somebody that could probably lead the league in scoring. I feel like it's one of those. I feel like the league is more parity when it comes to scoring. I mean, look, Steph Curry. I didn't think Steph Curry could lead the league in scoring, and he did that in 2016. I'm looking at guys like KD and LeBron and stuff. It was a point guard who led the league in scoring. So that kind of falls in the line. That kind of falls in line with one another, though. G Money says that the offense is more open. It's more opened up today, and defense is terrible. Shout out to the lowly ones. Salute to you. Salute. Like I said, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the thumbnail that I created for this one. So Winetta says that she believes that because the fact that we'll see different people lead the league in scoring every year, that we're not going to see a player win 10 scoring titles. G Money believes that Luka Doncic or Trey Young could lead the league in scoring 10 times, and he says because of the fact that the offense is more opened up today. I think it's difficult. I think that's hard. Not saying that you cannot lead the league in scoring. Maybe you could lead it maybe two, three, four times, but shout out to Jaden Dodd in the building. Appreciate you coming through. Again, guys, like the video as you guys come in. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Ron says it'll be kind of hard because besides having the capacity, you need the consistency and the efficiency. Yeah, because if you look at some of Jordan's best scoring seasons, they were some of the most efficient in NBA history. I mean, Trey Young and Luka have time because they're only second year players, but they're going to have to be consistent for a long period of time and they're going to have to be efficient, like Ron said, if they're going to achieve something like 10 scoring titles, or at the very least that I say close to it. But I know what some people will say. They will say that, well, Michael took a break. So, it kind of helped him to win those scoring titles. I said, but here's the thing, though. The fact that he came back when you were thinking that he might have lost a step, and to be able to still lead the league in scoring, not really in prime MJ form from 96 to 98, it really shows you how much MJ used his mind as he got older, too. Once he knew that he wasn't as athletic, once he couldn't play as many minutes as he wanted. And the thing is, MJ was still playing heavy minutes even at ages 33, 34, and 35. It's just what the difference is he went to go play baseball. So what the thing is, he took a basketball break, but he didn't take a sports break. He was still playing. He was just playing baseball. So when you're playing one sport to another, is your body really taking a break? Especially with the fact that now your workouts are going to be different as a baseball player compared to a basketball player. And as Juanetta says, players get more injured today. So it's hard. Yeah, so it just kind of makes me wonder. kind of makes me wonder if we're going to be able to see Luka's and Trae Young's best bet is to stay healthy. G Money says, and wants the NJ played against plumbers and cab drivers. Well, that's their opinion. That's their opinion. Okay, here comes. Okay, what was I gonna say? Where am I at? It's true. When you think of players like KD and Kobe, it's crazy. Kobe was a two-time scoring champion. AI won 4 scoring titles. Kevin Durant won 4 scoring titles. It took. It takes 3 players combined to equal the result of Michael Jordan. I saw if you heard that word sound, that was an ad. That was an ad I'm hearing in the background because I'm on the website. If you combine AI scoring titles with Kobe scoring titles and Kevin Durant scoring titles, you get Michael Jordan, and these are 3 of the best scorers in NBA history. Now, Wilt Chamberlain is second with 7 because he has 7 scoring titles. So Wilt Chamberlain has 7, but even then, so you know that was Michael has more. But let me ask you this question, guys, before we get to the second feat. Which one do you think is more impressive? Is it Wilt's 7 scoring titles or is it MJ's 10 scoring titles? And then make me a case as to why you think either one was impressive, in your personal opinion, in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video and make sure to share it as you guys come in. And again, donations are in the description. They're in the description down below. And give a shout out to Jaden Dodd. Okay, Jarrell Hayward has got Michael's 10 scoring titles. Juanetta says MJ because of competition and he has the hard defense that he faced. Okay. G Money says MJ's 10 because he had a repertoire of putting the ball in the basket. Also, MJ played much more tougher competition. And Joel is agreeing with Juanetta. I mean, I will change the thumbnail once I get through these 15. Smash the like, hit the subscribe. Let's get to the second feat. If you look at the rankings of scoring titles, Michael has 10, Will has 7, George Gervin, Allen Iverson, and Kevin Durant are each tied with 4. So they're tied for third with 4. Jay Jefferson says, sorry, I'm late. No, you good, Jay. No, you good. That's what's up. What's going on, Jay? Hope everything's good with you, my man. All right, feat number 2. Michael's the only superstar in NBA history with 2 three-peats. Let me ask you this question. Do you think we're ever going to see a player with 2 separate three-peats? And it says that Jordan does share titles with Scottie Pippen, but MJ was the undisputed leader of the Bulls teams that he went 6-0 with. And I know that there's always an argument that he never won without Scottie, which is obviously true. But Michael was the undisputed leader of the team. and he has two three-peats. Any team in history with at least that winning two straight NBA titles is such a heroic feat, let alone three. And the fact that MJ did it twice is something that's extraordinary. Jay says that Jordan's 10 scoring titles will never, ever, ever be broken. I hated Jordan, but he was phenomenal. Jay, quick question. Who was your favorite player? But G Money, didn't you say that you felt like there was a potential dynasty in the making? Yeah, but then it's like when you compare it to two three-peats, it's like I don't know. Juanetta says, who's going to win the scoring title this year? Good question. Let's look it up. I'm actually going to look it up because then this is going to get to LeBron next. Oh, your favorite is Isaiah Thomas, Isaiah Lord Thomas the third. Okay, cool. I know there's a long rivalry with that, but it's all good. All right. So let's get to scoring leaders. So let me just look that up for one other scoring leaders. And the and let's see, who do we have? No, season leaders is what I'm looking for. Ah, I see you change your tone. I see you change your tone, G Money. Um, right now, one other to answer your question, it's James Harden. He's actually leading the league in scoring, so it looks like he's going to win the scoring title. This would actually be James Harden's second scoring title, which would be in back-to-back seasons. So this will put him at two. He's averaging 34.4. Bradley Beal is at 30 and a half. He's number two. Giannis is third at 29 point, no, 30 point, no, 29.6. He's actually in a tie with Trey Young. Trey Young's actually fourth in the league in scoring at 29.6. Damian Lillard is fifth at 28.9. Luka Doncic is sixth at 28.7. Russell Westbrook is at 27.5%, and he's shooting a career high 47% from the field. Kawhi Leonard is eighth at 26.9, and he's shooting about close to 47%. Anthony Davis is ninth at 26.7 and 51%. Devin Booker is 10th at 26.1%, and he's shooting 48.7% from the field. So James Harden looks like he's going to win the scoring title for the second straight year. And LeBron is 11th at 25.7, and he's shooting 49.8%. So G Money says, let me see. AKAZ got it. G Money says, now I don't see a team with two three pieces. This is a lot of mileage and fatigue. Also, there's got to be a lot of luck to be involved. Okay. Juanetta says, is it possible for someone to win two three-peats? It might be. I really feel like you're gonna have to be one of those. I mean, you would have to have Jordan type of luck, I think, in order to get two different three-peats. Or I could say this: you could also, it could be a different case if you were to do a four-peat. That has never been done since the Boston Celtics when they eight-peated. So you four-peat, you could put yourself in really rarefied air if you could do that. Um, Man, it's hard being in the two three-peats will never be broken. Jay says, man, it was hard being in Detroit back in the day wearing Jays, man. Wanted to beat you. Oh, yeah. Ron says two three-peats is kind of tough. It's tough to do one three-peat, specifically with things like players moving around and contract and cap situations. Yeah, it's very hard. That's why considering what MJ did is remarkable with the fact that he was able to do two different three-peats. Man, I can't get over the fact that LeBron is 69.7% from the free throw line. That's crazy. Jay Jefferson says people tend to forget too that Jordan was an all-around player before Phil Jackson. I remember the '89 season; he averaged 32 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. Shout out to Valix in the building, appreciate you, including 10 triple doubles in that season alone. I believe he had 10 triple doubles in 11 games. I think it was something like that. G Money says if you think about it, the Heat could have four-peated and the Warriors could have five-peated. Mm, what makes it more likable for the Warriors is Kevin Durant, but then I have to ask you, would Kevin Durant have been a Golden State Warrior had the Warriors repeated the NBA title? I don't think so. And then with Miami, they lost their first, and they would. I think they definitely would have three-peated. I think they would have three-peated. Four-peat, I don't think so. But I said Miami, they would have three-peated. He definitely should have three-peated. Miami should have definitely three-peated. No, this is how I felt. Exactly. So I think everybody is kind of in agreement that we don't think that that's probably ever going to happen again. Two three-peats. And see, that's what kind of puts him in a league of his own. The fact that he was able to three-peat not once, but twice. So you were able to leave, you retired, and then you was able to come back and you were still able to three-peat. Yes, obviously you had Dennis Rodman, you still had Phil Jackson, and you still had Scottie Pippen. Apologize for that. That was the a lot of motorcycles where I'm at. All right, so let me ask you this question. Is there any franchise that you see right now that is possibly capable of becoming a dynasty right now in the NBA? The Warriors are were the current last one, but do you see anybody possibly repeating, winning three titles in about 4 years? And Jay says that I have the utmost respect for Jordan, especially what he had to go through to get his six titles. He gets a lot of respect from me. Okay. Also, people feel different, but Jay, for being a fan of Zeke from the Detroit area, MJ and Pippen three-peated with two different teams. That's another good point. That's another good point. I'm not ready to say the Grizzlies yet. I'm not ready to say the Grizzlies. Juanetta says the Clippers and the Celtics. Hmm. The Mavs, I say, are uh. So G Money, I do agree with you with the Mavs. Shout out to Brandon Nicholson. He thinks the Clippers, and Joel thinks the Clippers. Juanetta's got the Clippers and Celtics, and Jay still is going with Golden State. So he thinks that they have another dynastic run in them. We will see on that one. Um, but looks like we got more. It looks like we got more Clippers. Yeah, salute to you too, Brandon. Appreciate you. Again, guys, make sure to like the video. Subscribe if you're new. Share on your social media. And like I said, the donations to the Cash App and the PayPal are in the description on this video. Uh, Ron says the second time MJ did it, he was coming out of his prime, which is another big point. I know that they had Dennis Rodman and stuff like that, but you're talking about a defensive era in the mid to late 90s where it was really hard to score points. So for them to a lot of low scoring games, so I think that that was something important. Jay says, remember, Clay and Steph will be healthy for next season, and they might get the #1 pick. That's really something to remember because we don't know what they could do with that number one pick. So that is true. It says right here, Jordan's obsession with winning and making every single player around him better is the reason that he has two three-peats to his name. Even the Golden State Warriors, who probably have had the most talent on one team since Jordan's Bulls. Wait a minute. Now that I read that, the most talent on one team since Jordan's Bulls. Sounds a little biased to me. Managed three titles without a three-peat. There just can't be a player who can make his sort of impact come through the league again. It's a lot of noise up there in the background. What's going on? So look, when you rank the three-peats, now Bill Russell was part of an eight-peat, so that'll never be done. That'll never be. That's untouchable. But then it's if you're ranking in terms of the three-peats, Jordan has two, Shaq has one, and Kobe has one, and they play together. What was so incredible is that when Rodman came to the Bulls were playing 4-on-5, at least on the offensive end. I feel you. I feel you on that. Okay, here's feat number three. Feat number three is the most points per game in NBA history. I mean, you would know, Jay. He had him in the Detroit days, right? That's right. Had him in those Detroit days. Okay, so it says that Jordan's number one all time in average at 30.1. I think it's when you round it, actually, it's 30.12. And Wilt is, I think, 30.10. That figure stands out for the rest of the league. Oh, no, including Wilt Chamberlain. He's at a 30 flat. So Jordan is 12 tenths of a point better than Wilt Chamberlain and Elgin Baylor, who's at 27.3, who were the second and third highest scoring average of all time, respectively. So it says that Jordan's won a whopping 10 scoring titles, and his points per game average gives you more evidence that he was the game's greatest scorer. MJ was just a perfect offensive. Well, I can't say he was a perfect offensive player, but he was near flawless. With his ability to shoot from the perimeter and also finish at the rim, no player made it easy to score than MJ. He was efficient with a career 49.7% from the field. The 49.7% only is 49.7 because of his Wizard years. You take away his Wizard years, Michael is shooting 51% from his career, but his Wizard years took his average down to 49.7. It's one of the reasons that a certain somebody a certain somebody's fan base could say that he shot a higher field goal percentage and consistent since he came into the league. There really isn't any doubt as to which player could score at the highest level. Is there anybody in today's game that you think can possibly challenge Jordan's all-time points per game average for their career if they're able to play for a long time? And Jay also says that he thinks that the points per game will not be broken either. That is what the man believes. Oh no, Jay says, but nobody really count those Wizard years though. Oh no, no, no. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. There's a certain fan base that always counts those Wizard years. They will always count those Wizard years. Yeah, I can't say nobody. There's a certain fan base that will count those Wizard years. Trust me. Trey Young or Zion Williamson. Zion's jump shot will tell me if he'll challenge that. Zion's jump shot will tell me if he can average. Trae Young is a little bit tougher because he plays the point guard. Then also you have to say, don't you think it's going to be a personal goal of theirs if they're going to try to lead the league in scoring every single year? Juanetta says the league takes pride in scoring and no defense, so that can be broken by Trae Young if the league doesn't go back to the hard defense. And I've said this before. If you go back and watch this past year's All-Star game, when the players were actually playing some, at least I would say at the very least 2000s NBA defense, they had a hard time scoring the ball. So Wineta makes a great point. If they go back to playing hard defense, like in the 2000s at the very least, the players are going to have a tough time scoring. And the players didn't like it. So they like that freedom to be able to not be able to get hand checked, not being able to get really physical. Jay says it was amazing how Jordan would take 30 shots, but Jordan would make 50% of those shots. Just amazing. And it's prime. Larry Bird's Celtics are more talented than KD's Warriors. What do you think? Celtics have 5 Hall of Famers compared to 2, maybe 3 for Golden State. I don't see Trae Young breaking it. So I don't know if Trae Young is actually going to break that because I think eventually Trae Young scoring, I think he's going to be a consistent scorer, but I might possibly think that a guy like Cam Reddish is probably going to start to increase his scoring, and then they start probably might featuring him as a number 1 option because right now it is Trae Young for the Atlanta Hawks. So right now it is him currently, but I do believe that I think Cam Reddish is probably going to lead the team in scoring eventually, unless if they get somebody else, or if they don't go that way and Trae Young just leads the team in scoring just about every single year. But remember, he doesn't just lead the team; he's got to be able to try to lead the league. And then you got to ask yourself, is that going to be Trae's focus? So we'll find out. Yes, the Celtics had more talent. The only player I thought who had a chance was Kevin Durant. He looked like he was on pace to do it, but Durant won't ever do that. Of course, this is far better. It's a far better team than the Warriors. The Celtics have more bigs and tall bodies too. Yeah, which Golden State did not really have. And 2 of their front line members are in the Hall of Fame. Trae Young is the point guard. He has to be dynamic. So no, Trae Young won't do it. So again, guys, like the video as you guys come in. Make sure to share on the social media. Okay, so here's feat number 4. Most points ever in an NBA Finals series. And a lot of people kind of already really know this, but here's what's so crazy about Jordan's 93 Finals. It wasn't the fact that he averaged 41 points per game in the finals. He was able to give you 8.5 rebounds, 6.3 assists, 1.7 steals, so almost 2. And he shot he shot 50.8%. So pretty much you round that off to 51%. The crazy part is he averaged 41 points and was still able to shoot nearly 51% from the field. Raduni says the KD problems are too much with the injuries. Ron says it's early, but Trae Young is more of a streak shooter than a consistent scorer. Jay Jefferson says all you can say is that both the Warriors and the Celtics were great in their respective eras. Yeah, you can say that. Yeah, he's kind of streaky. He is kind of streaky. But yeah, the fact that Jordan was able to do that in '93 was crazy. Winetta says, I believe the Clippers, Lakers, Celtics, Bucks, Raptors, Celtics, Heat, and Sixers will bring defense back to the NBA. If they do bring back defense, what does that mean for this era? You know, that sounds kind of concerning. Like, what does that mean for this era if they bring back defense? Interesting point. So yeah, guys, what do you think? Do you think we're ever going to see a player be able to shoot 50% while averaging 41 points per game in an NBA final series? And Jordan was able to show you his versatility. He gave you 6 assists and nearly 9 rebounds, and he gave you nearly 2 steals and shot a high field goal percentage. And this was with him playing over 40 minutes a game in the NBA finals. And if you look at his scoring through the first 4 games, he scored 31 in the first game, 42 in the second game, 44 in the third game, and then 55 in the fourth game. And then when his scoring went down, he still gave you 41 points in game 5. And then in game 6, he scored 33 points. So basically, Jordan didn't score lower than 31 points in those NBA finals. Jay says, I remember that Jordan's first round series against the Cavs, he averaged 45 per game in that series. Winetta says, full circle. Jay says, nobody's ever going to do that either. And people have to remember, Michael is a two guard doing this. This is Michael at the two guard position. G Money says Bron came close to 40 points per game in 2015. Yeah, but did you hear the rest of what I said, G Money? It's not just the 40 points. Look how Jordan showed how well rounded. I mean, LeBron did have those other statistics, the 35, 13, and 9. But I said, look at the field goal percentage. He was able to shoot 51%, averaging 40 points, and he was playing 40 plus minutes a game. Raduni says, nah, the defensive side will be back after LeBron James retires. Sounds stupid, but that's going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard it from Raduni. No one will break that because MJ was just too talented and competitive. This is why I'm bringing these kind of things up, because it's not just the accolades, but it's the things that he did within those accolades that you just got to ask yourself, like, did he really do that? Like, that's crazy. Jay says LeBron can't even hold a torch to that man. Again, you heard it from Jay Jefferson. I mean, that's just crazy. Just in those 3 games, 44, 55, and 41 in games 3, 4, and 5. And he forgot to mention 42 in game 2. So that was 4 straight games he averaged 40 points. From games 2 through 5, the man averaged 40 straight points. Hmm. G Money, you really think so? Okay. All right. Look at that. Damn, he did that averaging 45.7 minutes per game. And Winetta says the players are these days are a little lazy. Oh yeah. Check this out, guys. Here's another stat. Only 9 times in NBA Finals history, no, in playoff history, 9 times has a player averaged at least 40 points per game. 9 times in NBA playoff history has a player average 40 points in a series. Michael Jordan did it 5 times. 5 times he had five different series where he averaged 40. What about the 6 3s and a half against the Blazers in '92? That was unreal. Oh yeah, how about the fact that he tied an NBA Finals record with 35 points in the first half? G Money ain't gonna happen. Okay, so here's a ranking for highest points per game average in an NBA final series. Look at that. This isn't even in playoffs because it's 9 times and Jordan did it 5 different times. But in the NBA Finals, Rick Barry had the previous record at 40.8. That was in '75. Elgin Baylor had 40.6, and that was in 1961. Michael broke that record in '93 against Phoenix, 41 points per game, number one all time in an NBA Final Series. And he did it while shooting 50%. Jay says another record that won't be broken is the 6 Finals MVPs. Huh, Jay says nothing more to say. Well, there's that, but wait, who have averaged 40 these days? Do you mean in a season? If you're saying in an NBA Finals, I don't think no player in this modern era has averaged 40 points in an NBA Finals series. Ron says it's hard because the ones I could think of that could average the 41 points per game, most of them are volume scorers, so they may be able to shoot. They may be able to shoot over the 50%. And Juanetta says yes. My boy Zeke still has the NBA record for the best 3-point percentage in an NBA Finals, which is 75% from three. Damn, which year was it? 88, 89, or 90? Jay, 88, 89, or 90? So the fact that Jordan's done it 5 times, yeah, then I don't see it being broken no time soon. Kobe came the closest at 35, and then James Harden averaged 36. That was during the regular season. The highest that Kobe ever averaged in a playoff series against a team was 35, and that was against the Sacramento Kings in 2001. Kobe was averaging 36 points per game against the Spurs through the first 3 games, but in Game 4 he dialed it back and scored 24 points. But he had 28, 40, he had 45, 28, and then he scored 36. So Kobe had 109 points through the first 3 games. It's just in Game 4 he only scored 24. Oh, okay. Jay says 1990 against the Blazers. I meant not be able to shoot over 50%. Okay, while averaging those 40. So there you go, guys. Here comes achievement number 5. Check this out. And it's his amazing achievements that he was able to accomplish at age 35. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Kobe, I think, never shot 50% from the field in a season. Yeah, he never did. He never did. Like I said, Kobe is more of a volume scorer when compared to MJ. Still great. Check this out. At age 35, in just the 1998 season, he averaged 28.7 points per game. How about damn near 6 rebounds per game at age 35 at the two guard position? Gives you almost 4 assists a game, 1.7 steals per game, and this is with Michael playing with a broken finger. Uh, he won the NBA championship. He was the regular season MVP. He was the finals MVP, All Star Game MVP, All NBA first team, and All NBA first team defense. We usually say this all the time. Yeah, I agree with that. Kobe was the ultimate volume shooter, but if you listen with